And then Loy Machedo, sweetie, from loymachedo.com. And Loy Machedo. Sorry, let me just keep my dogs. Oh, my dogs are on my lap. Oh, Nani and Puggy. This is Nani. Nani, good boy. Good boy. And this is Puggy. Boy, Fifi. Fifi is down here. All my dogs are here. Alright, anyway. Loy from loymachedo.com and it's loymachedo.com. Today's date first, let me give the date. It's 20th February 2016 time right now. It's 1:45 in the afternoon. I got this bad cold and I got a slight body pain and fever. A little bit of cough. I think it's the flu or whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you the experience of taking part in my first ever aquathalon. And, you know, for me personally, it was overcoming the fear of swimming. Yeah, what? Why do you keep breathing that? Okay. It was overcoming the fear of swimming, which took me around 1.5 years. Now, just to give you an idea, for me, swimming, hey, relax. Why you keep breathing hard? Okay. Hey, I'm making a video. Can you? Okay, relax. He keeps hyperventilating all the while, and then I need to keep petting him till he's okay. Alright, so I took part in an aquathalon on that was the 27th February 2016, and this journey of swimming in the ocean has taken around more than you could say, like how long? 1 year. You know, just to give you an idea, I am at the age of 6. I got stung by a jellyfish really bad, extremely bad. I mean, it was so bad that as far as I can remember, I was in the ocean just splashing around. Okay. Why are you breathing in? Right, I'm making a video. Can I make a video? Okay, relax. Okay, thank you. 3 feet down. Okay, so at the age of 6, I was swimming in the ocean. I remember splashing around, no fear of the ocean because I'm enjoying a nice time in the ocean. And all of a sudden, I started screaming. I started screaming violently, and I was splashing. That's all I could remember. And the next thing, I was in pain. I don't know. I went into shock or something. And next thing, when I gained conscious or whatever, I was shivering and screaming, and my legs were swollen with like, as if something had stung me or bit me or whatever. My skin was pretty inflamed, and I was crying and shivering, and I think I got stung by a jellyfish pretty bad. So after that, I never went into the ocean, and the only time I went into the ocean never went into the ocean, and after that, I happened to see the movie Jaws. So after that, I never went to swim in the sea. Never, ever, ever went into the sea. Never even went to just wet my feet. That is until I met my coach Jacques Sophie, who made it mandatory for me to swim in the ocean. At first, I had to just swim a little bit here and there, and he soon, he was always swimming next to me. But I never lost the fear of swimming. Never ever lost the fear of swimming. Whenever I would swim, if I would see, when you're swimming in the ocean, you see the ocean floor, which is light brown, and all of a sudden you see it become dark. I would panic. I would absolutely panic. I would. And the fear was pretty real. I mean, I would feel my breathing change. I would start hyperventilating. My heartbeat would be faster. I would just get paralyzed with fear. I wouldn't be conscious how I was moving. So it was as real as it got. And if I did see something like, let's say, algae at the bottom of the ocean just moving this way, for me, it was like my mind would play games thinking it was some horror movie. I would think of it some, horrifying creature from 20,000 leagues under the sea. So it was pretty real. For me to overcome that fear, it was horrendous. I mean, I was so very scared. And I remember this one time where my coach just told me to swim 50 meters in the sea. There was that line, the yellow floating device, I don't know, you call that buoy or floating things on the rope. Told me 50 meters and just come back. And that was not a very big distance. And normally he used to come with me. He used to swim back and forth. And this time he told me just go alone. And he was talking to my training partner, Marlon. As I went into the ocean, And the water is, I think, up to here, or maybe the water would be up to here. And the waves were there. And this time when I was swimming, he asked me to go without my flippers, so I couldn't feel my feet, having that friction that is there with the flippers. And as the waves started hitting me up, my legs were going down. I tried to put my head down so that the body could be straight. And every time the waves would keep pushing me up, all of a sudden, I don't know, I just got cold feet. And I really felt I can't do this anymore. And I just stood at one place. And I was like, I can't do this. And it was not even deep. And I started waving at my coach, and my coach was wondering what's wrong. And before you know it, he just immediately jumped in, and then he came swimming towards me. And then he asked me what happened. And I told him, I just panicked. I just told him I just panicked. And he was like, are you for real? It's so silly. And, I didn't know how to explain to him that this fear was real. It was as real can be. Then, he made me swim once. He swam with me the second time and third time. And then, I kind of realized that it's just all in my head. But to my biggest surprise, the real surprise came when I took part in this contest, this Aquathalon. I'm telling you, I was really surprised. I was really shocked because there were children who were swimming, real small children. And some of them were not even, taller than my knee. They were so small. They were really, really small. And I was like looking at these small little babies, small little kids, boys and girls. And I was thinking to myself, I'm scared of the water. Look at these children. They're not scared. And they were swimming and they were not scared and they were going up and down. And I just found it so very silly, my fears. And I questioned my fears. I questioned myself. I was like, why am I scared? And, but the bigger thing was for me to even take part in this competition. My coach had clearly told me, you're not ready, you'll take part in April. But deep down, I had this thing that I had to overcome my fears. I had to fight my fears. So I did take part. And also I did take part knowing that, okay, if I can't complete, I'll swim back, or I'll just have a breaststroke and I'll come back, or I'll ask someone for help. So it took me a lot of courage to take part in this competition, even though my coach said no. I did take part, and I swam. And I would say that, I came in second last. I don't know who was the last person. I don't know if the person competed, but I was the last person out of the water, the absolute last. And personally, I didn't feel bad because it was my first time. It was my first time taking part in a competition like this. And I was just happy that I was able to overcome my fears. However, there's a lot for me to learn. But what I wanted to share through this video is, if you have to overcome your fears of anything, whether it's swimming, like in my case, or anything else, you need to take the first step. You need to really go out there, and you'll be surprised to know that there are people, there are even children who are doing what you are thinking of doing, and they're doing it really well. And that kind of humbles you and kind of makes you realize how irrational is your fear. And it's always like the fear of heights, the fear of the dark. Even if you rationalize it, even if you give yourself logical statements, the fear is always going to be there. But you need to fight it, and you need to at least take the first step. And I was glad I took the first step. I definitely owe it to my coach, Jack Sophie, because he has been patient with me for a year. I also owe it to my training partner, Marlon, who, because of her support and her presence being there, I was able to swim. Otherwise, I don't think I would be able to do it. But having said that, I'm glad I overcame my fear of swimming. And now when I see the color of the ocean change, I wouldn't panic. I know that it's just going to be okay, even though the fear will be there at the back of my head sometimes. I would also have the slight fear of some creature coming. I still don't know how would I react if I see a fish swimming towards me. There's always the fear of jellyfish. But having said that, I'm glad I overcame my fear, and I just wanted to share the experience. And I'll tell you, the most amazing part was looking at these small children. I still can't get over it. Looking at children who are no taller than your knee, and they are swimming. They're swimming so very well, while me, fat, overweight, tattooed, looking elephant, is still being scared of the ocean. So yeah, Loy from LoyMachedo.com knows LoyMachedo.com sharing with you his first experience of overcoming the fear of swimming and the ocean. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed it a lot. So this is what it is, and if you have anything, love to hear your questions or anything you want to share or say. But yeah, if you want to fight your fears, I think the first step is to actually do it. So this is Loy from LoyMachedo.com, and it was LoyMachedo.com and his biting dog who's irritating me right now. Saying goodbye for now.